day, class. How y'all doing today? Good. Great, great, great. Listen, hands up. Back to me. Hands up. Back to me. Oh, yeah, your passing game is bad. Hands up. We got to improve. Good. Hands up. Good job. Good job. Hands up. Good. Hands up. Yes, yes, yes. Hands up. Way to go. Good. Have a seat. Have a seat. It's important to understand that, you know what, in my hand, it's a round ball. They call this what? Basketball. Basketball. How many of y'all like basketball? Well, that's good. That's good. How many of you ever played basketball? How many of you are good at it? You think you're good at it. Okay, okay, that's good. Guess what? How many of you know anything about Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Larry Bird, Dr. Naismith? Nobody knows who Dr. Naismith is? Who is Dr. Naismith?
The man who invented basketball.
Invented basketball. He started off with a little hoop. But that's what we're here today to do. We're going to talk about basketball. But you know what? One thing about it is, you cannot play basketball unless you have some knowledge of basketball. That's very important. Because you know what? I can pick this ball up. I know we're high schoolers. We can pick this ball up, go out there and put it in the goal. But guess what? There's a lot of skills that you need to have. But before you know the skills, you got to know what basketball entails. So today we're going to have a brief overview. One thing about the state of Georgia, we're talking about basketball, we have standards for physical education. And our standards today is PHS. 1, demonstrate competency and motor skills. Okay, when you talk about motor skills and movement patterns, you need to perform a variety of physical activities. Also, my essential question is, do you need to understand the game of basketball before you play it? That's a question you must know. I think you do. What do you think? What do you think? You think so, exactly. You need to know what basketball is and where it comes from, how it started. And one thing about it is, you just can't go on the basketball court and not know that there are positions on the court that must be filled. How many positions on the court at one time? 5. Can anybody tell me which ones? Center, point guard, forward. How many forwards do you have? You have 2 forwards. You have a what? Power forward and what else? Small forward. And then we missing 1 guard, right? What they call that? Shooting guard. Great. So you have some knowledge of it. But guess what? Even though you have some knowledge of what those positions are, you got to know what those positions do. So, for instance, the big man in the middle, what does he do, big man? What does he play? What is his main goal on offense? The center, what does he do? On offense? So you don't know. So that's why we're here to understand the knowledge of the game. A center's main goal is on offense is to score. He's the biggest guy on there. Okay? And also on defense, he wants to protect what? The rim. He wants to block the shots. He wants to make sure nobody scores. Then you got a shooting guard and a point guard. Now the point guard and the shooting guard is a little different. What is the main thing when you talk about a point guard? What does he do? Usually handles what? The ball. And then he wants to get it to the shooting guard, who usually does what? Knock down the shots. Okay, but then you got a small forward and a power forward. What is the biggest thing different between those? Is it one weaker than the other one, or one just have more skill set than the other one? What is it?
Small forward usually dribble more than power forward.
He has better skill set. And the power forward usually is the one that banks up the center, right? That is true. That is true. But guess what now? The game has really changed a lot. Everybody usually right now in this day and time can really handle the ball. And it's very important that you understand that they can only handle the ball, but they first and foremost have to do what? Learn a skill set. You just can't come up and pick this ball up and start putting it between your legs and think, oh, I can do. That doesn't work. It doesn't work. So we're going to go to the board. And we're going to do it. You got a diagram here, and you look at this here. I have up front here, this is our court. And a lot of times the basketball court has 2 ends. Okay? So we're just going to be on one end. Right here I have my point guard. On this wing I have a shooting guard. I have a center in the middle right here. Okay? He cannot be in the paint down there because he gets 3 seconds. We'll talk about that later on as we go through lesson plan instruction. Then we have the shooting forward here. Okay? Then we have the power forward. All right? Now that power forward, I have him down here what I call the short corner. The reason why I have him there and situated there is because I want to make sure that that power forward can help that center with the rebounds, even though we want everybody else to rebound. Now, I know I'm saying, what is it about? What is a rebound? Okay? What is the short corner? That is why we have to have some form of knowledge base to understand the game of basketball. You just can't pick up the basketball and start passing it around. You can't just pick up the basketball and expect to just get ready to shoot, because guess what? You got to have some kind of what? Skill, what? Set. And so as we go throughout this lesson, this unit, we got to understand first and foremost the history of basketball. Not only the history of basketball, then we got to understand what each word means when you're talking about the positions of basketball. And then not only that, what is that you have to do in order to develop to be a better basketball player. Now, there are 3 leagues in that basketball that we look at now. We have college, we have the NBA. What that stands for?
National Basketball Association.
Correct, National Basketball Association. Then now we've had, for the last 10 years or so, the WNBA. Something you like, right? So what that stands for? The women's what? And I'm going to tell you something. Hey, women have skills. And their organization is really growing. You know, what is one of your favorite teams out there? Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers. On the college level, anybody know? Everybody says Duke, but I'm a Tar Heel fan. So I'm not going to be biased, but I'm just telling you, there's some great skill set, kids out there that have a lot of skill sets. But I can tell you one thing. As we go through our lesson, and we understand history of basketball, one thing I won't tell you is that you today will learn how to play this game so well within a short period of time that you will be the next LeBron James, that you will be the next Maya Moore, that you will be the next Larry Bird. You got to understand that, guess what? Just knowing the game, the importance of knowing it and being in physical education is very valuable when you're talking about developing your body, okay, and getting better, improving. And so that's what we're going to look at. And throughout this time, we're going to be working on that to get better, learn how to handle the ball, how to dribble, how to pass, how to shoot, what kind of form we need to do. And then also, lastly and most important, is how to play it as a team, okay? Because guess what? If you can't catch the ball with just your hands, you can't. You must catch that ball with your hands and your eyes, because you got to see it. Ah, yes. And you got to know how to pass it. All right? Not only that, you got to be able to not only pass it and catch it, you got to be ready to shoot it. Exactly. And so we're going to get down to that point. I appreciate it right now as you understand and look at your paperwork. What we're going to do, you will have a project. You're going to have a project, and one of our projects is that you're going to write a brief summary, okay, of what's the history of basketball. You're going to give me a history. First and foremost, what I want you to give your opinion. Then I want you to do some research on your computers. You'll pull that up on the internet via OdysseyWare. Once you pull that up, you'll get a history of it. Then we'll have some printouts of the basketball goal and the basketball court. And what we're going to do then is going to make sure that you know what positions on the court. We're going to know also the vocabulary of those positions. So it's very important that you understand that. So once we know those things, that's when the fun comes in. That we will take you out, the corporate teacher, Mr. A, we'll go outside, and we'll take you all out, and then that's when we'll put the cones out, bring out more balls, and we'll see what kind of skill set you have. So it'll be like a pre-test. In that pre-test, we'll figure out, he cannot dribble with his left hand, or she can dribble better with her right hand, he cannot handle the ball, or he heaps his head down, or he has no clue of what position he needs to be on the court. But guess what? That is fine. That's why we're in this. That's why we're trying to understand what is the valuable lesson about basketball. Why it's very important to understand the game before you play the game. And then understand not only it's not an individual task, it is a team game. And we are a team in here. And we're trying to work through this together, and we're going to have some fun. I greatly appreciate your knowledge base right now that you've given to me. And as we go forward and understand these lessons, I can guarantee you this. You not only have fun, but you will learn about the game. Okay? Any questions? Any questions? Mr. A, you have any questions?
Sounds good.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to go from at this point right now. What we're going to do? Go ahead and just turn to your your computers, and go ahead and just log on in reference to looking up under the physical education tab, and then you just pull up the history of basketball. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, let's get to work. That is your object, that's one of your tasks for today. Thank you. Some computers may be a little slow today. Let's go ahead and log on. Just log on. Just log on. Put it up. Once you log on, get on the internet. You put up physical education, basketball, history of basketball. At that point, you'll have an opportunity to start working on brainstorming, getting some pointers on the history of basketball as we've discussed it prior at the beginning. If you need any help, please raise your hand. Yes, ma'am. That'll be fine. Yes, that'll be fine right there. Okay, you've got the history there, just pull that up. Good. I know you got James Harden on yours, so you're a little slow on it. Just go ahead and pull it up. You wanna look at James, you must be like Houston Rockets, you know.
No defense.
You got it? Good. I see you got yours pulled up. Let's go ahead, that's Dr. James Naismith, that's him. Great, great, great. That's good information.